pages of the ancient Haggadah open once more, and the miniatures reveal scenes that seem to break the rhythm of ordinary life. Jars, tables, roads, and gathering crowds repeat across the images, yet something different begins to surface in each one, as if the familiar world were on the verge of transformation. It begins with a simple gathering, a celebration, mingled voices, vessels set in place. Nothing unusual is expected. The moment moves forward until scarcity becomes evident. What sustained the joy has run out. There is no public announcement, no dramatic gesture, only a brief, quiet instruction. The change occurs without noise. The contents of the vessels are no longer the same. Those who taste pause. Surprise is not expressed in shouts, but in glances searching for explanation. Abundance appears where there had been limit. Along the roads, other gestures follow. The touch, a word, a presence close at hand. Weakened bodies regain movement. Eyes once closed are opened. There is no delay. What had been held back begins to flow. The news spreads uncontrollably. Footsteps quicken. Houses fill. Some arrive with clear faith, others with doubt. The miracle does not distinguish intentions, it simply happens. Jesus does not linger to explain. The signs speak for themselves. Each action points to something greater, something that does not impose itself, yet allows itself to be seen. While some celebrate, others watch with unease. Questions grow. What heals also unsettles. What astonishes demands a response. Thus, the first miracles do not close the story, they open it. They prepare the ground for more demanding words and deeper encounters. The narrative now moves toward a moment when teaching will take a public and structured form. The next chapter leads to the Sermon on the Mount. Enoch, the prophecy of time. Before the flood, before Moses, before history was written as we know it, there was Enoch. The Bible says Enoch did not die, that he walked with God and vanished. But the ancient texts attributed to Enoch reveal something far more unsettling. He was not only taken to heaven, he was shown the nature of time itself. According to these writings, Enoch was guided by angels known as the Watchers through the heavens. There he did not merely see stars and thrones, he witnessed the hidden mechanism of time. Cycles, ages, resets of the world, and repeated judgments. Past, present, and future were not separate, they were part of a single design. Enoch wrote that humanity would pass through eras marked by corruption, forbidden knowledge, and false enlightenment. He spoke of a time when humans would believe they controlled everything, yet would have forgotten who created them. A time when the heavens would seem silent yet would be watching. The most feared prophecy did not speak of an end, but of a return to the beginning, a reset. A moment when what was hidden would be revealed, and sealed books would be opened once again. Enoch warned that only those who understood time would recognize the signs. That is why his writings were removed, fragmented, and pushed to the margins of history. Not because they were false, but because they were too precise. And if Enoch truly saw our time, then the question is not whether the prophecy will be fulfilled, but where we now stand on the clock of creation. The story will continue in future chapters. The Haggadah of the Silence of the Desert. The pages of the ancient Haggadah open once more, and the miniatures reveal a barren, unmarked landscape. Naked hills, cracked stones, and an unmoving sky surround a solitary figure walking slowly forward. No written words explain the silence. the image itself holds it. Jesus enters the desert. There are no crowds, no witnesses. The sound of the Jordan's waters is now far behind. Only the wind brushes against sand and stone. Each step raises dust. The sun measures time without mercy. Days pass without visible signs. Hunger appears gradually, not suddenly, becoming a constant presence. The body weakens, but the gaze remains steady. The desert offers no shelter and no distraction. Everything is exposed. In the absolute stillness, the trials arise. They do not arrive with noise, but with calm, reasonable words. The promise of bread, of power, of safety. Each proposal seems simple, logical, almost necessary. Yet in the silence, the answers form without being spoken aloud. Jesus stands unmoved before each challenge. He does not argue. He does not rush. The desert watches. The sand does not stir. The sky does not change. Strength is not born from force, but from clarity. Time stretches. The silence weighs heavily, yet it also reveals. When all that is unnecessary falls away, only what is essential remains. And that is enough. At last, the desert yields not with words, but with stillness. Hunger remains, weariness remains, but the trial has passed. The solitude has fulfilled its purpose. Jesus leaves the desert in the same way he entered it, in silence. The story now moves toward a new stage, where silence will give way to voices, roads, and callings. The next chapter leads to the beginning of his public ministry. For centuries, one question has sparked faith, doubt, and debate. Did Jesus of Nazareth really exist? Beyond religion, history offers disturbingly clear answers. The earliest records do not come from the Bible, but from Roman historians. Tacitus, one of the most respected chroniclers of the Roman Empire, wrote that Jesus was executed under the authority of Pontius Pilate. He was not a Christian. He had no reason to invent such a claim. Pliny the Younger, a Roman governor, described early Christian communities who worshipped Christ as a god. Only decades after his death, and Flavius Josephus, a first-century Jewish historian, referred to Jesus as a wise man, executed, and followed by many even after his death. These independent sources agree on the essentials. Jesus lived, he was crucified, and his impact was undeniable. Archaeology speaks as well. Roman inscriptions confirm the existence of Pontius Pilate. Physical evidence of first-century crucifixions shows that the method described in the Gospels was historically accurate. Even science enters the discussion. Modern textual analysis reveals that the Gospels were written too close to the events to be mere legends. Ancient manuscripts align with one another with remarkable consistency. But there is one argument that goes beyond documents. A carpenter with no army, no wealth, and no throne changed the calendar, reshaped morality, and altered the course of civilization. That is not the work of a simple myth. Jesus was not a legend born in darkness. He was a real man, in a real time, with real consequences. And perhaps that is why, 2,000 years later, his existence remains impossible to erase. The story will continue in future chapters. The spear of Christ, the weapon that touched the divine. As the body of Jesus hung in silence upon the cross, the sky darkened and the earth trembled. Then came an act that would echo through history. A Roman soldier, identified in ancient tradition as Longinus, pierced the side of Jesus with his spear. From the wound flowed blood and water. To some, it was merely the final act of an execution. To others, it was the exact moment when the human world touched the divine. Apocryphal manuscripts and medieval traditions claim that the spear was not abandoned. It was taken, preserved, and feared. According to these texts, the spear acquired an unsettling power. Whoever possessed it could rise to rule empires, but whoever lost it was destined to fall. Centuries later, the Holy Spear appears in the hands of Emperors Constantine, Charlemagne, and later within the heart of the Holy Roman Empire. Ancient chronicles claim each carried it into battle, believing the weapon protected their destiny. But other manuscripts offer a darker warning. The spear did not grant power, it revealed it. They say the blood of Christ did not turn the weapon into a blessing, but into a test. A test measuring human ambition against the sacred. When power was sought, the spear brought war. When it was revered, it brought silence. And here, the question is born. In the next chapter, we will explore how many spears claim to be the true one, and why none can prove its origin with absolute certainty. Later, we will uncover how sacred relics became tools of political ambition, and why touching the divine always carries a price. Because the spear that pierced Christ is not just a relic. It is a mirror. It does not reveal the power of God, but the heart of humanity.
Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. Truly this was a righteous man.
Long before the arrival of Columbus, there is a theory that challenges official history. The Knights Templar may have reached the Americas. After the dissolution of the Templar Order in 1307, accused of heresy and hunted by the Church and European kings, many Templars vanished without a trace. But their treasures were never found. According to ancient chronicles and hidden symbols, some Templars may have escaped by sea, carrying secret maps, advanced navigational knowledge, and relics considered sacred and dangerous. There are clues that fuel the mystery. In North America, certain ancient structures display symbols similar to Templar crosses. In Nova Scotia, the mystery of Oak Island has long been linked to a hidden Templar treasure. And in Mesoamerica, some legends speak of bearded men arriving from the sea, long before the conquistadors. Coincidence? Or traces erased by time? The Templars possessed knowledge of sacred geometry, advanced architecture, and a spiritual vision that blended faith and science. Some believe this knowledge was shared with indigenous cultures, influencing symbols, rituals, and constructions. There is no definitive proof, but there are no clear explanations either. If the Templars reached the Americas, they did not come as conquerors, but as guardians, hiding secrets that could not fall into the wrong hands. And then a disturbing revelation emerges. An ancient manuscript, found in forgotten European archives, describes a Templar voyage to a land beyond the ocean, mentioning sacred mountains, giant stones, and people who had never seen iron. The document names no modern places, yet its descriptions align unsettlingly with regions of the American continent. Was this manuscript the missing proof? Or just another fragment of a forbidden puzzle? Perhaps the story of the New World began much earlier than we were taught, because sometimes the truth is not lost. It is hidden. The story will continue in future chapters. Marco Polo in America before Columbus. According to official history, Marco Polo never crossed the Atlantic Ocean. His journeys ended in Asia, and his name became forever linked to the Silk Road. But an ancient manuscript, dated to the late 13th century, suggests something impossible. Marco Polo may have reached America nearly 200 years before Columbus. The text, written in archaic Latin mixed with nautical symbols, describes a voyage beyond the Sea of Darkness. It speaks of unfamiliar ocean currents, stars positioned differently in the night sky, and vast green lands inhabited by peoples who did not use iron, yet mastered gold and maize. The traveler never names the continent. Instead, he calls it the Great Land of the West, where the sun dies and is reborn. He describes immense rivers, endless jungles, and cities built from stone and clay. Some passages align disturbingly well with what we now know of Mesoamerican and Andean civilizations. Why was this account never revealed? The manuscript hints that the knowledge was deliberately suppressed for political and economic reasons. To admit that Europe already knew of these lands would have rewritten the balance of power, faith, and conquest. At the end of the document, a note written in a different hand delivers a warning. Not all journeys are meant to be remembered. Some must remain silent until the world is prepared. If this manuscript is authentic, the discovery of America was not an accident, it was a revelation delayed by centuries. The story will continue in future chapters. The Haggadah of the Nativity. The pages of the ancient Haggadah open once more, and the illustrations come alive. Within the illuminated miniatures, a long road winds through stone villages and open fields. Two figures move slowly beneath a vast sky, traveling from Nazareth toward Bethlehem. The journey is heavy with distance and uncertainty. Night approaches and the land grows quiet. Mary walks beside Joseph. Her steps are measured, her presence calm. The city ahead is crowded, its streets filled with travelers and voices. Doors close one after another. There is no space prepared, no place set aside. The search ends not with welcome, but with necessity. Beyond the noise of the town, a humble shelter waits. The setting is simple, almost unnoticed. Straw covers the ground, and animals rest in silence. The moment arrives without ceremony, without witnesses of power or rank. And there, in the stillness of the night, the child is born. The scene is small, contained within the narrow walls of the shelter, yet something immense unfolds. Mary holds the newborn gently. Joseph watches, attentive and silent. The child is placed where animals feed, wrapped with care, resting in quiet vulnerability. The world outside remains unaware. Above, the night sky stretches wide. Far from the town, shepherds keep watch over their flocks. The darkness is suddenly broken by light. Fear gives way to awe as a message is delivered, not to kings or priests, but to those who keep vigil in the fields. They move at once, guided by wonder rather than understanding. They arrive and see what has been told to them. No throne, no palace, only a child, a mother, and a father. Yet the weight of the moment settles deeply within them. They leave changed, carrying the news into the night. Inside the shelter, calm returns. Mary reflects in silence. Joseph remains watchful. The child sleeps. The birth has taken place quietly, yet nothing will remain the same. The story now turns outward, toward those who will come seeking the child from distant lands. The next chapter leads to the visit of the Magi. The beginning of the public ministry. The pages of the ancient Haggadah open once again, and the miniatures reveal roads multiplying between villages, hills, and bodies of water. Figures move from place to place, and a calm presence begins to appear in each scene, always in motion. Jesus leaves the desert behind and returns to inhabited regions. Paths fill with footsteps. In the villages, people pause to listen. There is no prior announcement, no visible sign. Only words spoken quietly, as if they had always been there. He speaks in open spaces, beside the water, along dusty roads. His words do not seek to impose. They describe a kingdom that is near, accessible, already unfolding. Some listen attentively, others remain at a distance, watching without deciding. Soon, small groups begin to form. Fishermen, travelers, ordinary men and women. They come not by obligation, but by recognition. Something in the voice, in the gaze, keeps the movement going. On a shoreline, nets hang suspended in midair. Work stops without drama. A brief invitation is enough. Steps change direction. Lives reorganize around a new teaching. The crowds are not yet large, but the murmur spreads. From town to town, the news travels slowly. Some seek answers, others healing, others simply to listen. Jesus continues forward. He does not settle in one place. The road itself becomes part of the message. Each encounter is brief, precise, sufficient. Time passes and his presence becomes familiar. What began in silence now takes public form. Without spectacle, without visible power, the work has begun. The story now moves toward a wider stage where words will be accompanied by signs and the crowds will grow. The next chapter leads to the first teachings and miracles.
Venid a las aguas y sed purificados. Estamos listos, maestro. Yo os bautizo en el nombre del Padre.
The hidden childhood of Jesus. The pages of the ancient Haggadah open gently, revealing quiet miniatures far from crowds and long journeys. There are no kings or distant lands in these images, only small, almost unnoticed scenes where the story continues in silence. The day unfolds calmly in Nazareth. Near the river, the water flows slowly between smooth stones and tall reeds. A child walks along the bank. His steps are light, attentive to the ground, to the movement of the water, to the sound of the wind among the trees. There is no hurry. For a moment, the world seems still. Jesus stops. A short distance away, on the damp earth, lies a swallow, motionless. Its wings are folded, its small and fragile body unresponsive to the passing air. The child approaches and kneels. There is no fear in his expression, only attention. He observes in silence, as one who recognizes something that needs no explanation. The river continues to flow. Jesus lifts the swallow carefully. He holds it in his hands without pressure, without urgency. The surroundings remain quiet. The trees do not move. The water seems to listen. Then the child speaks, not loudly and not with solemn gestures. His words are simple, almost a whisper, directed toward life itself. There are no visible invocations, no signs in the sky. And it happens. The small body trembles. The wings unfold slowly, at first uncertain, then strong. The swallow opens its eyes, breath returns, and in an instant it rises. It crosses the air above the river and disappears among the branches, leaving behind only the trace of motion. Jesus remains still, watching. There is no celebration. There are no witnesses. The moment does not seek to be seen or remembered. The child stands and continues along the riverbank as if nothing extraordinary had taken place. The water keeps flowing. The day moves on. In Nazareth, life continues, unaware of what has occurred. The power that once stirred kings and moved stars remains hidden, contained in small gestures, in silent acts, in childhood. The story has not yet revealed itself to the world. The next chapter leads to the baptism of Jesus. The Haggadah of the Magi. The pages of the ancient Haggadah open once more, and new illuminated miniatures emerge upon the parchment. Along the borders of the book, deep skies appear, pierced by a star that does not remain still. Its light stands apart from all others, drawing the gaze of distant lands. Within the illustrations, 3 figures move from separate horizons. They wear foreign garments, carry precious objects, and keep their eyes fixed on the heavens. They follow no known map or road. They follow a sign. The journey unfolds across vast deserts, unfamiliar cities, and long silent nights. The star remains, always ahead, always clear. It offers no words, yet it directs every step. The miniatures shift, revealing the walls of Jerusalem. The Magi enter the city with questions rather than certainty. Their arrival unsettles the balance of power. Faces darken, and authority listens to the news of a birth, not with joy, but with fear. The pages of the Haggadah grow heavier. For a moment, the star disappears, and decisions are shaped in shadow. Yet the journey does not end there. As they depart the city, the light returns. The star reappears, guiding them once again. The illustrations now lead toward a humble place, far from palaces and thrones. There are no guards, no crowds, only stillness. The Magi enter and pause. Before them stands no visible wealth, no sign of earthly power. Only a child, held by his mother. And yet, they understand. Without words, they kneel. The gifts are opened one by one, not as tribute to a common king, but as recognition of something greater. Gold, frankincense, and myrrh are laid before the child. The gestures are solemn. The moment is brief, yet decisive. The final pages show a different road. Warned in dreams, the Magi do not return the way they came. The book portrays them departing in silence as the star slowly fades from view. Inside the home, calm remains. Outside, the world has not yet understood what has taken place. The story now moves toward danger and escape. The next chapter leads to the flight into Egypt. Meroe, capital of the Black Pharaohs. Long before Rome ruled the world, and as Egypt's power began to fade, a great capital rose south of the Nile. Meroe, the heart of the kingdom of Kush and the seat of the so-called Black Pharaohs. For centuries, Meroe was dismissed as legend. Then archaeological discoveries changed everything. Dozens of pyramids steeper and more numerous than those of Egypt, temples dedicated to African and Egyptian gods, royal palaces, iron smelting furnaces, and tombs carved with forgotten symbols emerged from the sands of Sudan. Ancient manuscripts, Greek, Roman, and Nubian, describe the rulers of Kush as powerful kings and queens, masters of astronomy, metallurgy, and sacred ritual. Meroe did not merely imitate Egypt, it challenged it. Kushite pharaohs once ruled Egypt itself, wearing the double crown and restoring ancient traditions along the. One of Meroe's greatest enigmas is its script, Meroitic, a written language still not fully deciphered. Inscriptions on stele and temple walls speak of divine authority, warrior queens known as Kandakes, and a bond between royal power and the movements of the heavens. Excavations revealed something even more striking. Meroe was a center of knowledge. Solar alignments, star-related symbolism, and ceremonial layouts suggest the Black Pharaohs believed they were guardians of cosmic order, not just rulers of a kingdom. Why was Meroe erased from memory? Some Roman texts label it a threat. Others reduced it to silence. But the desert could not hide it forever. Today, Meroe stands revealed as what it always was, an advanced African civilization, powerful, independent, and central to ancient history. And according to a fragmented manuscript found near its pyramids, Meroe protected secrets that have yet to be revealed. The story will continue in future chapters. The Code of the Hebrew Bible. For centuries, the Hebrew Bible was viewed solely as a religious text. But in recent decades, researchers, archivists, and mathematicians began to notice something unsettling. The text did not only tell stories, it concealed patterns. This phenomenon became known as the Code of the Hebrew Bible. By analyzing the original ancient Hebrew text letter by letter, without spaces, some scholars identified mathematical sequences, structural repetitions, and statistical patterns that appeared too precise to be random. Names, events, and concepts seemed woven into the text itself, as if they had been intentionally encoded. From an archaeological perspective, the Dead Sea Scrolls confirmed a crucial fact. The Hebrew text had been transmitted with extraordinary accuracy for over 2,000 years. That precision made it possible for any internal structure, if one existed, to survive intact through time. This was not a flexible tradition of copying. It was almost mathematical. Some historians argue that the ancient scribes were not mere copyists, but guardians of knowledge. They understood sacred geometry, Hebrew numerology, and basic astronomy. To them, language did not simply describe reality, it organized it. Every letter carried a value, every word a weight, every line a purpose. Here is where political and religious occultism enters the discussion. Certain medieval manuscripts suggest that religious authorities and rulers were aware of these hidden structures and feared their interpretation. To reveal that the sacred text might contain cycles, warnings, or historical patterns could have challenged both spiritual authority and political control. Knowledge, once again, was restricted to the few. This was not magic in the modern sense, but an ancient worldview, the belief that the universe itself is written in code, and Scripture was a reflection of that invisible order. For mystical Jewish traditions, the text did not speak only of the past, but of all times at once. Modern science does not claim that the code predicts the future, yet it acknowledges something deeply puzzling. The structural complexity of the Hebrew Bible exceeds what would normally be expected from a purely human work of its era. And that leaves a powerful, uncomfortable question. Was the Hebrew Bible only a book? Or was it also a structured message, waiting for those able to read beyond the words? The story will continue in future chapters. The Ethiopian Bible, the Lost Canon. For centuries, the world believed it possessed the complete Bible. Yet in the highlands of Ethiopia, guarded by stone-carved monasteries and traditions older than many churches, a different Bible survived. The Ethiopian Bible, known as the Ethiopian Canon, is the oldest and most complete biblical canon still in use today. It contains books removed or rejected by other traditions, texts like Enoch, Jubilees, and the Ethiopian books of Maccabees. These writings speak of fallen angels, watchers, giants, forgotten covenants, and knowledge that existed before the Great Flood.